You know that feeling when you put a hobby on pause for years, and then, completely out of nowhere, you get this undeniable itch to pick it right back up? Well, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into a really relatable journey documented by an author named Aang. We're going to look at what it actually takes to get back into playing the electric guitar today. And maybe more importantly, we're tackling the very real, kind of daunting reality of budgeting for modern gear. So let's map out exactly what it takes to build a modern rig from scratch. In part 44 of their blog series, Aang opens with this super simple but honestly pretty weighty question. Thinking of getting an electric guitar? Again? It completely hooks you, right? Especially if you have a passion project just sitting there on the back burner. For Aang, this isn't just a fleeting, random thought. It's a returning passion. And the way they document this whole process, it's something I think any hobbyist can deeply connect with. What's actually really fascinating here is the nature of these dormant hobbies. Aang admits this is basically a long pending project rather than, a daily obsession. So what finally pushed them over the edge to explore picking up the guitar once more? Actually, it was the gear itself. The guitar industry has seen some absolutely massive, super impressive shifts recently. It's completely transformed the landscape, making it almost impossible for a former player to not take a peek at what's new out there. Now, if you've been following Aang's journey, you know they don't just jump in blindly. They have this highly organized three-part modern gear checklist. Step 1, settle on an electric guitar brand and model. Step 2, choose a digital multi-effects processor. And Step 3, select an FFR speaker. The awesome news for Aang is that Step 1 is already in the bag. They know exactly which brand and model they want. But as you'll see, building a modern electric guitar setup is about way more than just the wood and the strings. Which brings us right to Step 2, the digital multi-effects processor. You can kind of think of this as the digital brain of your entire musical operation. Aang has basically locked in a decision here already, and that's entirely because today's processors are, wow, they're just completely different beasts compared to what we had even a decade ago. Let's break down exactly why Aang is so drawn to this modern tech. I mean, sure, these units handle your traditional effects, delay, reverb, modulation, the usual suspects. But today, they feature ridiculously realistic amp modeling and even cutting-edge AI-based captures of actual physical amplifiers. It is literally like having an entire legendary recording studio packed into a single, super affordable little box. High-end tone just isn't reserved strictly for rock stars with massive budgets anymore. Okay, so we've got the guitar and we've got the digital brain. Now we transition to the final missing piece of Aang's setup. Step 3 is what we might call the blank canvas. See, if your digital processor is already creating these incredibly realistic AI-captured amplifier sounds, well, you need a very specific, highly technical type of speaker to push that sound into the room without completely ruining the digital illusion. So the crucial thing to understand here is the acronym FFR. That stands for Full Range Flat Response. Let's demystify that jargon real quick. It literally just means the speaker is designed to amplify exactly what the digital processor puts out without adding any of its own flavor or color whatsoever. It covers the full range of human hearing, and its response is perfectly flat. It is purely just a messenger for that digital brain. To really wrap our heads around this, just think about a standard, traditional guitar amp. A regular amp inherently adds its own unique physical character to the sound, which, let's be honest, is exactly why players love them. But if you plug an AI-simulated amp into a real amp, those sounds clash hard. The FFR speaker, on the other hand, acts as a totally uncolored sound canvas. Because it amplifies exactly what the processor outputs without coloring the tone, your AI-captured sounds come through exactly as intended. All right, so we've explored all the exciting digital tech, the AI, the perfectly flat response speakers. But now, Aang brings us back down to earth with something we can all definitely relate to. The budgeting reality check. Dreaming up a perfect modern guitar rig is incredibly fun, but actually funding it? Yeah, that requires sitting down and doing some math. After doing the research, Aang calculated a magic number, 1,500. That's 1,500 Malaysian ringgit to be exact. Aang figures that these three essential components, the guitar, the processor, and the speaker, can actually be stretched to fit right into this budget. And the really clever strategy here? They note that this number could drop even lower if they just skip buying the FFR speaker right out of the gate. It's honestly a really smart compromise to get the project off the ground faster. But even with clever compromises and the incredibly attractive prices of modern gear, we hit a wall. Aang's current reality is twofold. They just lack both the spare time and the budget to dive into this right now. It's a really tough call, and one that so many of us know all too well, right? But Aang wisely decides to hit pause. This long pending project is likely going to have to wait until next year. And Aang shared a brilliant quote that reveals exactly why they're being so cautious. They say, once you indulge in a new setup, you'll just start adding more and more gear to the pile. It is a hilarious but painfully accurate acknowledgement of what the community jokingly calls gear acquisition syndrome. Aang knows that initial 1500 isn't a finish line. Nope, it's basically opening the floodgates to a very tempting, endless cycle of buying more stuff. Which leaves us with this final provocative thought. Have you ever fallen into a similar hobby gear trap? Whether we're talking about guitars, cameras, building computers, or even crafting supplies, we all know how a simple passion can quickly spiral into an ever-growing pile of equipment. Aang's journey is a fantastic reminder of the amazing technology we have available today, but also of the serious discipline it takes to manage our hobbies sensibly. Thanks for joining me on this explainer. I really hope it sparked some curiosity and, hey, maybe even saved your wallet, at least for today. See you next time.